This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Sarah Bagby. And this morning on Sunrise, we'll meet the delivery driver who was run over by his own vehicle, all while trying to stop a thief from getting away. Plus, a follow-up to a KGW investigation into slow ambulance response times. Now, Washington County is switching up ambulance providers. But before we get to that, what we all want to know is what is happening with weather. And we have with us our weekend meteorologist, Daisy. Daisy, what is happening with the weather today? Are we going to see any changes?
Yeah, Sarah, we're expecting to see more of that cloud coverage, which we are experiencing right now. And this will actually be sticking around for the majority of today. We will actually see some sun breaks as we're looking at the second half of our Saturday. And as we're looking into Sunday, that's going to be a completely different setup. We are actually going to be seeing more of that rain because of this brand new system that is actually making its way into our neck of the woods right now. Checking in at the rest of our current temperatures, 60s for Portland and Troutdale, 50s for Hillsborough, Forest Grove, King City, Westland holding 58 degrees, 65 degrees over the Dalles, 61 for Hood River. Now this is a look at what we can expect here along the Rose City, 62 degrees by noon, mostly cloudy skies. And again, we will actually start to see some sun breaks as we're looking at 4 and 5 o'clock, also into the evening. So there's potential for us to see maybe the sunset. We'll talk more about it coming up, Sarah.
Great, thanks, Daisy. Now this morning, a delivery driver is recovering after a man stole his truck and then ran over him. The victim, a Salem man, is still in the hospital nearly 3 weeks later. Alma McCarty got a chance to talk with him yesterday.
The morning of May 30th, Gary Adams was doing what he's done for the past 10 years, picking up donations for Union Gospel Mission of Salem.
2 years for the clothes and furniture side, and then 8 years for the food side.
One of the stops on his route, this McDonald's on Lancaster Drive Northeast. Now, weeks later from his hospital room, he's sharing the story about what went wrong.
And I was coming up to the back of my truck and I heard it start up. I dropped the bags and went around to the front and opened the door, and I tried grabbing the guy and pulling them out. And of course I startled him and he floored it when it was in reverse.
He lost his grip, fell to the pavement, and the suspect in his truck ran over his hip. Adams said all he could do was watch as the man sped out of the parking lot.
I saw him driving away and I could not move. My legs would not move. My arms were barely moving. You could tell nothing was going to stand in his way of getting out of there.
Salem police say people out on the road reported the reckless driver in the box truck heading up I-5. Officers say that suspect, a man later identified as 42-year-old Eloy Tello, crashed around this area in Woodburn, and that's where they arrested him. He's charged with assault, hit and run, theft, and DUI.
I'm glad he was apprehended, and so fast.
In the weeks since the incident, Adams has had 2 surgeries to put his hip and leg back together.
It's just going to be a long progress. It might be 3 months down the road before I'll even be able to use a walker.
Despite this painful setback, he's overflowing with gratitude and looking forward to rejoining his team at Union Gospel Mission.
They said that they're just waiting for me. To have all these people knowing that they're all behind me and they're always thinking of me is just an uplift and helps me keep going.
Now, if you want to help, there is a GoFundMe page for Adams to help with some of the medical expenses. We'll have a link to it on KGW.com. As for the suspect, he was indicted on the hit and run charges last week. He'll still remain in Marion County Jail. Authorities in Clackamas County are looking for a missing woman with Alzheimer's. They say Kathleen Dunn was last seen late Friday morning near Milwaukee by Southeast Michael Drive and Fuller Road. She has brown and gray shoulder-length hair and was wearing a red polo with blue jeans. If you see her, please call 911. And crews have reopened the Coldwater Lake recreational area on Mount St. Helens, just along the trail system. It's been closed for a few months since the landslide last month. A few months ago. However, the popular Johnson Ridge Observatory will remain closed. There's still 9 cars stuck on the Highway 504, and they were caught in that landslide. Officials plan to spend the next 30 days clearing debris in the area, and then they want to open a temporary road for official access only. This way they can get the stranded cars out. Permanent repairs will take a lot longer. Pacific Power is now proposing to raise customer rates to pay for millions of dollars in damages it owes for starting wildfires in 2020. This week, a jury found Pacific Power liable for the Labor Day wildfires. The company's been ordered to pay at least $90 million to those affected by the fires, and potentially a lot more as part of a class action case. They're asking the Oregon Public Utility Commission to defer costs associated with the lawsuits to a later date. For months, KGW has been investigating slow ambulance response times. Ambulance providers in both Washington and Multnomah counties often fail to get to emergencies on time. Washington County commissioners have voted to switch ambulance providers from Metro West to a new company. Investigative reporter Evan Watson has been tracking this for us, and here he is with the latest.
AMR's service in Multnomah County has been well below standards. Response times have fallen off, and ambulances are arriving later and later. More than 6,300 times since January, dispatchers haven't been able to immediately assign an ambulance crew to a 911 call because none were available. The company blames it on a shortage of paramedics, but says in Washington County, that won't be a problem.
EMS company AMR is expected to become Washington County's new ambulance provider starting August 1st. Washington County commissioners will vote on a franchise agreement later this month.
We are bringing in clinical performance measures, so it's not solely about how fast an ambulance can get to a patient, but how well they respond to a patient.
The county shared its intent to switch from longtime provider Metro West to AMR months ago, but Metro West protested the decision. The CEO of Metro West questioned the accuracy of AMR's proposal to the county, and depending on who you ask, the dispute ended differently. A county official told KGW, "Our response to Metro West Ambulance covered their concerns. They accepted the response and dropped the protest." But a Metro West spokesperson said, Washington County denied Metro West Ambulance's protest. Now county leaders are answering questions about why AMR should expand when the company is struggling in its neighboring county.
Multnomah County requires 2 paramedics in each ambulance. We've always had 1 paramedic and then an EMT as the second. And so that allows us greater capacity within the system.
Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson told KGW that she thought about AMR's expansion into Washington County when AMR proposed changing Multnomah County's 2 paramedic per ambulance requirement.
As they were proposing having a paramedic and an EMT as kind of the base operations, we really wanted to make sure that we weren't being driven by the need to just expand capacity to a new county, but really, again, centering and holding true to those like health outcomes and the type of service that we really want people to have when they're in a really dire medical situation.
Paramedics have more training and qualifications than EMTs, and they get paid more. AMR leaders told Washington County commissioners that about 2/3 of Metro West employees have committed to switch from Metro West to AMR and keep working in the county, which helps fill their staffing needs.
AMR says it's hired 40 paramedics and 65 EMTs for Washington County, with a goal of staffing 50 paramedics and 76 EMTs. The company says it's confident it will be fully staffed and ready to go on August 1st. Metro West, which is based in Hillsborough, will still provide non-emergency medical transport in the county. In studio, Evan Watson, KGW News.